Imagine a place so cursed, so drenched in misery, that even the bravest souls refuse to step foot on it. A place where the air feels thick with unseen eyes, where every shadow seems to move just out of sight. Welcome to Poveglia Island, an abandoned speck of land in the Venetian lagoon of Italy, known as one of the most haunted places on Earth. Tonight, we're diving deep into the twisted history and eerie legends surrounding this island. What you're about to hear isn't just some ghost story. It's a true account backed by centuries of dark events. So grab a blanket, turn off the lights, and get ready to uncover the chilling tale of Poveglia. Born in plague and death, our story begins in the 14th century, during one of the darkest times in human history, the rise of the Black Death. The plague tore through Europe like a scythe, claiming millions of lives in its wake. Venice, being a major trade hub, was especially vulnerable due to its constant influx of ships and travelers. To protect the city, the Venetian authorities made a ruthless decision. They transformed Poveglia into a quarantine island. Anyone who showed symptoms of the plague, or even those suspected of having it, were forcibly taken to the island. Most never returned. Historical records estimate that over 160,000 people died on this island. They were left to rot in isolation, their cries of suffering swallowed by the wind and waves. When mass graves overflowed, the dead were burned in huge pyres. Locals even claim that the island's soil is now 50% human ash, a grim reminder of the island's macabre past. Just imagine it, a place where every step you take is literally on the remains of the dead, where the ground itself has absorbed centuries of suffering. That's the kind of energy that doesn't fade with time. It lingers. A new kind of horror, the asylum era. As if the horrors of plague victims weren't enough, Poveglia's story takes an even darker turn in the 20th century. In 1922, the island was repurposed into a mental asylum, a place that would earn the island its reputation as a paranormal hotspot. But this was no ordinary institution of care. Patients here weren't just sick. They were often used as human test subjects for unorthodox and brutal psychiatric treatments. Lobotomies were performed without anesthesia. Electroshock therapy was administered with little regard for the patient's condition. And at the center of it all, a doctor whose name has been lost to time but whose legend lives on in whispers. Rumor has it he was as unstable as the people he treated. He dismissed the screams of patients as mere delusions, but those patients claimed otherwise. They said the island was haunted by plague victims, by something unnatural. They heard footsteps in the halls, voices whispering in the dark, and felt cold hands grab them in the night. At first, the staff laughed it off. Then the doctor himself began hearing things, seeing things. And that's when the story takes a truly disturbing turn. The fall from the bell tower. By 1930, the doctor's paranoia had taken over. He claimed the spirits were tormenting him, blaming him for the pain and death he inflicted. His mental state unraveled fast. He was seen talking to himself, trembling as he walked through the asylum's long, echoing corridors. Then, one night, he climbed to the top of the island's bell tower, the highest point on Poveglia. No one knows exactly what happened up there. Some say he was drunk. Others believe he was possessed or driven mad by the spirits. What is known is that he threw himself off the tower. But here's the eerie part. Witnesses claim he didn't die immediately. They say a thick, unnatural mist rose from the ground, enveloped his broken body, and dragged him away into the shadows. Abandoned and feared. The asylum finally shut down in 1968, and Poveglia was left to decay. No one wanted anything to do with it. The buildings began to crumble, Nature reclaimed what it could, and silence fell across the island once more. But the silence wasn't peace. It was fear. Fishermen avoided the waters nearby, claiming their nets would pull up human bones instead of fish. Locals spoke of screams echoing across the lagoon on windless nights. Even the birds seemed to avoid flying over it. In 2007, a team of paranormal investigators attempted to explore the island. They didn't even last an hour. Their recordings picked up disembodied voices, including one chilling phrase in Italian, "Lasciateci in pace." Translation: "Leave us alone." One of the investigators claimed he felt ice-cold fingers touch his neck, even though no one was standing behind him. Modern-day encounters. Though officially off-limits, some people have still found their way to Poveglia. One of the most chilling modern encounters came in 2016 when an American tourist named Jake defied the rules and snuck onto the island. He posted a series of haunting photos online: overgrown courtyards, rusted hospital equipment, mold-covered walls. But his final post was the most disturbing. A shaky, dimly lit video where Jake whispered, "I hear footsteps. There's no one here." Jake made it back to Venice, but those who know him say he was never the same. He became paranoid, withdrawn. He claimed to be haunted by visions of a woman in a plague doctor's mask, who would stand at the foot of his bed, unmoving, night after night. The tales locals tell. The people living in the villages near the lagoon have stories too. A fisherman once claimed his boat stalled near Poveglia, and as it drifted, he heard a choir of voices chanting in a language he didn't recognize. Another said he saw a flickering light in the bell tower. Decades after all, power to the island was cut off. Perhaps the most chilling story comes from a woman named Maria, whose grandfather worked as a dockhand in the 1950s. One day, he was sent to retrieve some leftover supplies from the abandoned asylum. When he returned, he was pale and shaken. He wouldn't speak for days. When he finally did, he described seeing a little girl in a tattered dress, standing silently in a doorway. As he turned to leave, she whispered his name. He never went back. What lies beneath the silence? So what's really going on in Poveglia? Is it just an old, decaying island filled with ghost stories and urban legends? Or is there truly something supernatural happening there? Skeptics will tell you it's all in the imagination, fear amplified by the island's horrific history. But with so many stories, so many first-hand accounts spanning centuries, it's hard to dismiss them all. Could it be that the souls of the plague victims never found peace? Or the asylum's tortured patients, still trapped in their anguish? Or is it something even darker? Something ancient that feeds off pain, fear, and death? Whatever the truth may be, one thing's for certain: Poveglia doesn't let go of its secrets easily. Thanks for watching. If this story gave you goosebumps, hit that like button and share it with someone brave enough to explore haunted places. Drop a comment below. Have you heard of Poveglia before? Or maybe you've got your own creepy story to tell. Until next time, stay curious and maybe keep a light on tonight.